Let's talk about involving interfaces. Consider an interface that you have developed called doIt. It has two methods, do something and do something else. Suppose that at a later time you want to add a third method to do it, so that the interface now becomes like this. It has three methods instead of two. You add an extra one, did it work? If you make this change, then all classes that implement the old doIt interface will break because they no longer implement the old interface. Programmers rely on this interface will protest loudly. That makes sense because when we implement this interface, we agree upon those two methods. Now you just change the interface. You add a third method. This is not the contract we sign in. When we sign the contract, we only agree those two. You change the contract, we don't have to honor this actual requirement because this is not the same contract we sign in. If you want us to agree, you need to assign. We need to assign a new contract. By effect, you change the method body. It became a new contract. So there is two strategy you can modify an existing interface. One is you can extend doIt. So give us a new contract, doIt plus. If we agree upon, we can implement the doIt plus and agree upon this new requirement plus those old two requirements. But for those existing implementers who agree on doIt, their code don't have to break. So this is one strategy. Another strategy is you can define your new methods as default methods. The following example defines the default methods named didItWork. So besides the existing two methods, you add an extra method called didItWork. However, you provided a reasonable default method body. So the existing implementer don't have to modify their code to implement the didItWork. If they don't need to use the didItWork, they don't call this method and their code continue to work. So this method is transparent to the existing implementers. They can choose to call the didItWork. They can choose to override this didItWork. But if they don't do anything, this method is transparent to them as if they never existed. So their code continue to work. And this actual functionality didn't bother them, and they don't have to change their code. So that's two strategy you can modify an existing interface. Note that you must provide an implementation for default methods. You see, default methods have a method body. The abstract methods end with a semicolon. It don't have the method body. You could also define new static methods to existing interfaces. Users who have classes that implement interfaces enhanced with new default or static methods do not have to modify or recompile them to accommodate the additional methods. In the next section, we will talk about the static methods.